With so many amigurumi kits out there, how do you know what's a good value and what you should probably pass on? Hello and welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Becky and this is Corgis and Crochet. So I don't know about you, but I have been seeing amigurumi kits everywhere. So Woobles started it. I could be wrong, but I feel like they were the first one to really kind of mainstream do little amigurumi kits. Um, Took the world by storm and they've sold so many. And I was just wondering if the ones that you see like at Walmart, at the craft store, at the dollar store are okay substitutes. So I went and I bought five. I bought five different amigurumi kits. Well, a lot of them call them crochet kits, but us in the know that it is amigurumi. So I wanted to initially grab a Woobles kit and do like a true comparison. However, I do not make Woobles money. So Woobles, if you ever feel like sponsoring me, especially with that Lord of the Rings one that just came out, I want that little Balrog. However, I could not justify $40 for a kit. I'm so sorry. I ended up spending a little bit less on 5 kits. So I am very curious how they will stack up. Again, I've never actually done a Woobles kit. I'm putting that out there, so I can't do that true comparison to actual Woobles. This is more if getting kits from some of these different places is worth it, if they make a good toy, if they make a good toy figurine, however you would like to say it, stuffy, little tiny stuffies. If it's worth spending your hard-earned money on these items. So let me go through what we have. And the game plan is we will open each kit together. I will then work up each toy to completion and I will share my final thoughts on them and which ones are approved and which ones you should maybe avoid. So we are going to go through all of them really quick. First things first, I got this at Dollar Tree. So it's not $1, it's $1.25. And I actually have heard that they've raised their prices again. I need to check that. But I thought this little dinosaur was adorable. So I snagged him, sorry for the glare, up and we're going to see $1.25 how he works. Next, I got this one for $4.99. This was at Hobby Lobby. I thought the bee was cute. They really didn't have a lot of stock. There were some other ones that probably would have been cuter. Mr. B, you were still cute. It's okay. But I would have preferred some other options. And next was at Walmart. Now, this is not the Walmart brand. This is Red Heart. I got this cute little dino. It says that he's a T-Rex, but I feel like he's just, I don't know. I don't feel like he's a tiny T-Rex. I feel like he's just a basic dinosaur. He just looks happy and dopey. And then at Michael's, and I did have a 40% off coupon, so I did not pay full price for this. This was $9.99 full price. This was $9.99 full price. This one, I had a 40% off, so I only paid $6 for it. This is from Michael's. This is the Chloe. Her name is Chloe, and it has chenille yarn. So I am very excited to see how this one works up as well. And then finally, I was browsing Amazon, and I found this one. They had a ton of little ones, and opening it up, it looks a lot like some of the Woobles kits I've seen. So we're going to see. This is a little Highland Cow. This is Ridge. So we have a cow, 2 dinosaurs, a cat, and a bee. All right, we are going to start here with the Dollar Tree dinosaur. Now, I should have said earlier, but my amigurumi experience is okay. I don't feel like I'm a beginner, but I haven't made a ton. So I feel like this is also a really great way to test these kits as someone who is not as well versed as others. So I'm going to open up the instructions here. I'll keep them off camera just to be kind to the makers of this. However, I will share as I'm going. And as much as I hate it, I'm going to try to use this really bendy, crappy hook. And again, on the package, it looks kind of green, but here it's like fluorescent and a mess. Look at this. Where are you even coming from? Oh, okay. I take it back. This is to keep the front or the end and the beginning together. So I guess it doesn't get messed up, but am I meant to pull from the center? Like they're both coming from the exact same spot. Oh wait, no, there is a third. There is a third here. 1, 2, 3 ends. I'm guessing this one makes sense because it goes around. So this is just going to be a fun extra little piece of this. Okay, so in the instructions, it's telling you that before you do round 1 of each part, you need to create a magic ring first. It does look like it has instructions to make a magic ring. However, those aren't the best instructions. So I'm just going to do it the way I do it. And we'll call it good from there. Okay. All right, so we're going for the head first. Chain 1. This hook. This hook's going to be the death of me. Oh my gosh. It's working, but it is so... All right, so we have worked the body of the head, and we've done 2 rows of decrease, and now it is telling us it is time to stuff it with the fiber fill. And, oh, sorry, insert the eyes, stuff it with the fiber fill, shape it by hand. Now, the problem I'm having with this, and let me verify here. This is the images it gives you. So it's not really giving you a good like reference of like, put the eye here and here, which if you're a beginner is a little daunting, and I won't lie, for me, a little daunting, but we'll do our best here. Okay, eyes are placed, and let's put some of that fiber fill in. Now I do remember hearing somebody saying that it's best to kind of like pick and pluck instead of just stuffing it in. Probably should have left a little bit longer tail there, but all right. So we are done with the first part here. Oh my goodness. I think I should have put the eyes a little bit closer to the top. He's just going to have white eyes. He's a special little dino. All right. Now starting on the body, I have not encountered the awkward yarn yet. It's got to be coming up soon though. I did say that I don't have a ton of amigurumi experience, right? However, I'm not this bad. It's the neck is my fault. And yeah, I probably didn't stuff as much, but I had to fix the legs a little bit. Look, he's special and he's mine. And It looks like he has turtle feet. Bless. Poor thing. It's a little top heavy too. Um, this poor dino. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's talk about this. Aside from its super awesome sewing job, guys, I promise the rest will be better. Not good one. It's the dollar store, so I wasn't expecting greatness, and I didn't really get it. Again, I recognize my own skills, and I'm the perfect person for these kind of kits. But yeah, it was, the yarn's not the greatest. I still have a ridiculous amount comparatively for this of fluff left of polyfill, which maybe explains why, you know, he's so cushy. I don't want to overstuff him, but and then this is how much yarn I have left. So overall thoughts from this cute little monster. So the kit itself, this needle was unusable. Absolutely unusable. No yarn, unless you really, really dangle it, is going to get through there. So I pulled out a regular size. This is a regular size yarn needle. Look at that comparison of the eye. Like, that's ridiculous. I can deal with how short it is. That's fine. But like, make this at least a little bit bigger. The hook, surprisingly, I did a lot better with the hook than I thought I was going to do. Would I use this hook again? Absolutely not. This is going to go in the trash, or I will donate it. But I will never use this hook again. Never again. Now, I did see somebody post that they just improved the pattern and the kit for this, so I would be curious to go back to Dollar Tree and see. But again, guys, sewing aside, mock me all you want. This was not enjoyable. Also, this yarn was so bright. I don't know if it's showing up so bright on the camera here. Let's turn up the light a little bit. Maybe change the light here. This yarn was so bright that I ended up putting on not only like low power readers, but blue light glasses. Here's a lovely picture. But yeah, not the best quality. I wasn't expecting the best quality. Do I still love him? Yeah, kind of. I feel like I need to put like a derpy face on him and it will be complete. Also, I don't like working with this small of hook, and I know that you're supposed to be a little bit smaller for amigurumi, but this was really hard for my fingers to like maneuver around. And again, a lot of this might be personal preference, might be me, but guys, let's just leave this cute little dinosaur and move on to the next one. All right. After that thinness of yarn, that horrible of a hook, all of that, I had to try something with thicker yarn and with a hook that is slightly bigger, but also ergonomic. So much better already. We are going to dive into Ridge, which is the one that came from Amazon and is the most, I would think, and in appearance wise, like Woobles. So let's dive in here. Right, so looking at the instructions, and I'll cover most of them, it took me a little bit to realize that that said round. It looks like MD to me. Maybe not the best font for this. I mean, the rest kind of seems okay if you look in here, but that, I was like, what is MD? And I was looking at like the basic reading, and I was like, is that a new term? And I didn't see anything that said MD, and I was like, what in the, oh. R and D. Got it. Round. So already better than the last one. Like I said, hook, yarn thickness. This includes stitch markers, and the Dollar Tree did not include a stitch marker, which I don't know. They're so cheap. I don't understand why that wasn't included in there. Yeah, obviously it looks like they have our first magic circle made. Now I'm a center pole girly, and I'm not super thrilled that I had to be pulling from the outside. That's nitpicky. Yeah, this is definitely, from what I've seen in the stores, this is very like Boobles yarn. And this is definitely, I feel like it's yarn, but it's more like shoestring thickness and texture. So that's very interesting. So an inconsistency already is that it's not telling you to slip stitch to the beginning. So if I'm a complete newbie, I don't know. I'm sure, I know they have a video for this, but if you're just doing written instructions, all it says is that. And I went back and I looked here. I make sure that it didn't say like, you know, slip stitch at the end of every row. Nothing like that. It does have SL for slip stitch, but it does not say on any of these. It doesn't say anywhere to slip stitch to the beginning of the round. So interesting. Also, it's not saying to do a chain at the beginning of each round, so I won't do that. But that is interesting. Oh, gall. You're gonna have to do super, super tight with this. Like, I am pushing down. Goodness. This is definitely not enjoyable yarn. I'm gonna take a break out of this after this. The last one was bad because it was so thin or so small with that yarn hook that it kind of hurt my hand. But this is going to be so tight, held onto it, that it's also going to hurt my hand. Hopefully this will loosen up the further you go along. Here I was thinking I was doing better yarn. Not a fan. Hopefully Wool's yarn is a little bit better than this, because this is horrible. I really don't know if you can tell the amount of like grip I'm having to use and pressure I'm having to use. And it's not that I, do it tight in general. It's that you have to, with how thick these stitches are, you have to like shove it through. This is going to get old really fast. All right, as you see, I grabbed this lovely little, I forgot the name for it, like kind of, I've seen it called Yarn Genie, but this is from Temu. Because pulling from the outside and having it flop everywhere was driving me insane. So this really helped. And this thing is huge. This is like a little baby hat. Something else that I am liking is it is actually telling me exactly where to put the eyes. So it's not a guessing game. Thank you. I want as little guesswork in these as possible. So I'm going to go ahead. Looks like we have a normal size yarn hook or yarn needles, which is great. All right. So it is telling us from the top, select a hole between rounds 9 and 10. All right. That looks right. And looking at the picture for reference. Yeah, I think that's good. And because I'm paranoid, we check 3 times. And now we continue to crochet. So now we are about to start decreasing, and sounds good. So my tension, not really my intention. It's easier now as it's wider to crochet. It doesn't feel as tight, but definitely my back of my hand is going to be aching after this. Oh my gosh, it looks like a little potato. All right, let's do some decreasing here. Okay, I think that's stuffed enough. It's so hard to tell. Like, it's still squishy. I don't think it's overfilled. Might stuff a little bit more on the bottom right before I close it, but he's squishy. I think that'll do. She is done. She is so cute. So this is definitely a pretty hefty one. Like, you can see in the palm of my hands, and I don't necessarily have small hands. I would say that she is at least the size of a softball, like pretty good sized. I love these little curly Q hairs and the little cute flowers. She is magnificent. I feel like I maybe need to fix this because this one's a little off. And I almost like it better without. She doesn't need nostrils, right? So overall, definitely better in appearance than the dinosaur from the Dollar Tree. Now, some things that I'm definitely not a fan of. This yarn is awful. So let me show you actually. You can see inside of that. It is like a hollow tube with this like cotton like batting almost inside. You see that? Like, so it is, there is no give. And my hand definitely is hurting because some of these stitches are, especially the smaller ones, are just so hard to pull the hook through. And this would definitely not have worked with the plastic hook from the last one. And I am not a fan of this yarn. I do have quite a bit left. Normally, I will keep things and add it to my scrap pile, like the leftover purple from like the dinosaur. That's going to go in my scrap pile. It'll eventually go into a scrap blanket. This is going in the trash. I have no desire to keep this yarn or to ever work with this yarn again. It's horrendous. I can actually say I hate this yarn. Not a fan at all. I like the stitch markers. I barely used them though. As a whole, like this one, I'd say this is worth the money on Amazon, especially if you can get like a deal on it. I don't think I would purchase this kit again though, or other kits by this company. Cute, yes, but it is not worth the wear and tear on my hand. And this yarn, ugh, awful. So after a little bit of a rest, we are diving into this next one. I am not holding out a lot of hopes for this. The Dollar Tree one wasn't that great, and I just want this one over with. All right, is this showing my age? With how fluorescent this is, I'm probably gonna end up with my blue light glasses again. And I will attempt to hold out as long as possible with another plastic hook, but this one actually did tell me what size it was, and it just so happens to be the size from the last one, and I might just switch to this guy, but we'll give it a fair shake and see how it goes. Another knot. That is 3 for 3 with having some kind of icky knot. And you know what? I am going to go grab that spinner again. And I just noticed this one did not come with stitch markers. So we are going to just reuse stitch markers from the last project. Okay, I'm over this hook. I tried. Can you use it? Sure. But I'm choosing not to. The little bee head is complete. Now, I've realized a mistake, and many of you who do amigurumi probably realized it earlier. Remember how I was like, ugh, it's so weird that they're not showing like slip stitch, chain one at the beginning of the round and going around. All of a sudden it hit me about here that the reason I'm getting this lovely puff is because it's continuously in the round. Novel, amazing. Again, I did say that I am not a pro person at this. So that's okay. I have now learned I am not going back and starting this over again. This is just the way it looks. I mean, it's not super bad, right? Either way. All right, now it is time to start on the body of the bee. I think it's kind of funny that I have this like full-on pinwheel. That has a pretty good sized little head. This would be a good sized bee again. This has been an absolute lifesaver. I am so glad I have this. Again, I got this one from Temu, but I know that they're on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. So if you want to snag one, and for these, like I've just been putting them on top of each other. I have the black all ready to go. But yeah, it's been very nice not to have the yarn like flip flop everywhere. So, all right, let's get into the body. So here we have the cute little bee body. It reminds me of like a lemon. And then this head, again, this is like way bigger than I thought. But now it is time to attach the eyes, do the stuffing, attach some body parts. So it says, following the following the diagram, position eyes, punch in place, and then do the little smiley face. My problem is it doesn't really give great instructions on how to do the eye placement. You just kind of gotta stab it. Again, that was one thing I really did enjoy with the little Highland Cow is it told you exactly what row to put it on. So much easier than trying to like decide where I like it. So we're gonna get those out. And again, this is nice because it did give you 3 of the eyes, which if you lose one, then you have that backup. There's his eyes, and now I'm like, are they up too high? I don't know. But I'm gonna stuff it, and then I will put the smiley face on after it's stuffed, just so I can better tell where it's gonna go. But let's get to stuffing this thing. So in a change of events, I actually used all of the fiber fill this time. I've had stuff left over on every other one. But yeah, I've used it all this time. So let's get him attached. Okay, so I'm not great at sewing on mouths, but it turned out okay. It's not the cutest, but also, I've done worse in this video. Cue the special little dinosaur. But if you compare it to the box, the antennas weren't quite curling the way that I wanted them to, but you know what? I think they're fine without it. And Yeah, not bad. Now, I did take this outside so that I could capture how fluorescent this color was, and hopefully it picks up in direct sunlight. But fluorescent highlighter yellow. It was, she's quite a lot. He's quite a lot. I don't feel like this one's a she. Anyway, so the good, the bad, the okay. The hook for this was an absolutely, oh, no, that isn't the right one. That's the one from the dollar store. This one was worse than the dollar store. Honestly, I mean, you saw at the very beginning, I tried and I was just immediately like, absolutely not. This is just not going to work out for me. The yarn needle, plastic, but like thicker or wider eye, so that worked out. The yarn itself, super splitty, but softer than obviously the last one and softer than the Dollar Tree. All things I kind of expected. I do have quite a bit of the yellow, quite like a decent amount of the black. And then this is how much white I have left over from the wings. So overall, this one's kind of middle road. Again, I will do the full comparison after I'm done with all of them, but we are over halfway, and honestly, I'm so happy. And just like that, we are moving on to our last two. Honestly, I saved the two that I had the highest hopes for till the very end. Oh, the fingers crossed. So we have the loops and threads. This is again from Michaels. Skill level advanced. So let's see how that goes. I know that my skills might be a little bit questionable, but again, I feel like I'm kind of like the people that they're looking for. People who know some amigurumi, but are not so experienced that they want to like go from scratch, which I've done from scratch, and I promise they look better than this. Okay, I have higher hopes that this is going to be a much better hook than those other plastics, because yeah, it doesn't bend as much. We had yarn needle hidden, and it looks identical to the one from Hobby Lobby, so that's interesting. All right, diving in. So it does give some warnings about working with the chenille yarn, which absolutely makes sense because I know I've worked with that. I'm sure many of you have. It is not the easiest yarn, so you just gotta know its quirks. And they do have this fantastic little warning here stating that we have made every effort to ensure the provided instructions are accurate and complete. We cannot, however, be responsible for human error or variations on individual workmanship, meaning that the photo is the ideal, but if you don't match it, not their fault. And we are going to start on the body. Now, unfortunately with this, it literally isn't a ball, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this that I've been using. Again, I always pull from the inside, so I don't normally use this, but it is really come in handy, so hopefully it continues to be handy through this project. And this is already better than some of the other ones. Note the project is worked in continuous rounds of single crochet without joining unless otherwise stated. Place a marker or short piece of different colored yarn in the first stitch of the round and move with each round stitched. So unlike the other ones, it does let you know that this is worked continuously. So this would have been extremely helpful for me, at least, with the others. So I am quickly being reminded of the agony of chenille yarn and how much it sheds. So much shedding. I just have like one more, I just have the head to finish and stuff, and then it's attachment time. So this is actually a lot smaller than I thought. It's so funny. Like, I mean, I'm sure they have measurements on them and I could pay attention more. But the ones that I thought were going to be small have been big. And this one, like, it's just a cute little tiny size. We have our two paws, our two arms, and we have whoop, two little legs. We have a tail, and we have, oh, these are the ears. And just 1, 2, 3, 4 different spots that will get sewn on. So this has actually been pretty good, minus the shedding of, like, here you can see. My floor will need to be vacuumed. Again, it was vacuumed after the latch hook kit, and now it's not been that long, but we're going to stuff this and finish fastening this off. And what I am loving as I'm reading ahead is it is so detailed with the assembly. I like the pictures that it shows. And again, I love when it's saying like working over rounds 4 to 7, sew in place on, 2 stitches in between. This kind of, I like when it's that detailed because I don't want to do that much guesswork. Well, she's done. Oh my goodness, Chloe, you are a mess. Okay, one, guys, I swear I can make amigurumi. Like, I made cute stuff in the past. This is not terrible. However, it is not amazing. It is so soft. This little patch on the head just, for a little bit, it looked like Jack in the Box, and it was weird. I tried on the box. It has little gray in there, and it was just not happening. So she just doesn't have inner ears. Totally fine. Patches came on fine. The legs came on fine. The feet came on fine. The little tail. Like, as a whole, she's not bad. But let's just, look at, like, you saw how many times I was blowing off this desk. And my floor is covered in fuzz. Now, I've worked with chenille yarn before. I know that this is a thing. However, what fun this kit was, in my opinion, was ruined by this yarn. Honestly. I know advanced, fine, whatever. The thing is, it wasn't sewing the pieces together with this. Like, that went fine. It's that there is so much that just breaks off. Like, I can blow on it and little pieces of the chenille will fly away. So, as you can tell, that is probably my number one gripe, because the instructions were well written. The hook was not too bad. I mean, the yarn itself feels really great. I'm going to need to take a break after this before I get to the last one, because, like I said, I am very frustrated right now. For our last one, I thought it was fitting that we started with a dinosaur and we're going to end with this dinosaur. I love how derpy he kind of looks, so hoping that this one is a bit better than the other. I already know that there's better things in it because we went through it. For example, this hook is much better because it's ergonomic, it's metal. This is using thinner yarn, which I'm not super happy about, but yeah, this is a 1-weight yarn. So this is going to be very, very thin yarn. I love this one. Actually has a stitch marker. That's really nice. Only 2 have come with stitch markers, which kind of surprises me. I like that right off the bat, it tells you what the size is going to be, 4.5 inches. I wouldn't expect anything less from Yarn Inspirations and Red Heart, that the instructions actually look like valid instructions. And already I can tell as you're sewing things in, it's so much better detail. And just a quick glance, 'cause I don't want to give their pattern away. So, like, I haven't even started this, and I can already tell this might be my favorite because the instructions are well written. We actually have everything, including a stitch marker. So, give me a win. Come on. Honestly, I love that it's like a legit yarn label, and it's not just like scrap. This is also the only one in cotton, so we'll see how this compares to others. Oh, all right, already. Do you see how that thread? This is going to be fun. This is going to be a very, very splitty yarn. You see that? Oh boy. Come on, guys. But I could count on you. This instruction is pretty much basic for everything, so I'm not feeling too bad showing you this. Do not join. Thank you. That is, maybe I should have started with this one. No. Ending with it is best. All right. So I am learning with this. It really is about picking your battles, because I could go back and be super meticulous about this, but it would take forever because these threads are just doing their own thing. So I'm just going with the flow, and it's going to look out. It's going to look how it looks.
A few moments later.
You know what? Let's just frog this whole thing. We're just going to try this all over again. Okay, after frogging, we are back, and it's a little less messy. I tried to be a lot more careful this time, and it is supposed to make that shape because that's going to be his cute little snout. Do dinosaurs have snouts? Pretty sure that's what I would call it, right? But still, ugh. This one's going to take a little bit longer, not just because it's a 1-weight, but because of all the amount of times I've had to go back and I've like tightened my tension and try to be really like careful as I'm pulling it through. But even then, you still get stuff. Oh boy. All right, so I'm really liking this one. The only thing is all of that yarn that is just, oh, the splitting. The splitting is insane. But like, this is gonna be so cute. And his little tail. Oh my gosh, just stop. Truthfully, like, that's about the only thing that has me held up with this, is that the yarn is just horrible. So now I'm going to make 3 little spikes, and then we get to assemble. And I am already like, I like that this picture is not just like on the bee, it's literally just this little drawing. However, on this guy, it's legit a crochet piece, which is nice to have a better reference of where I need to be putting things. Again, maybe just me. Also, I like that they have some stitch instructions when it comes to putting on his cute little face. I'm really, really hoping that this one turns out well, but we're getting close to the end, but I had to come in and share that. Oh, also, the stuffing is so different for this, the polyfill. It's like look at that. It's not like normal polyfill. It's a bunch of little, I don't know, it reminds me of like snowy slush. When it's not quite snow, not quite rain, it's just like that slushy kind of like bit. But that is so interesting, but it's really making it like really soft. I like this actually. So yeah, super interesting differences with this one. I think we have a clear favorite. So cute. Look at his little smile. Oh my gosh. And the cute little like, he's so cute. Oh my goodness. Rawr. Okay. So yeah, I definitely have a couple things that I was not a fan of with this kit. However, on the whole, the instructions were super clear. The materials were superior. Again, minus the splitting of the yarn, which was just, it's insane. Like there's so many little things. But it gave really clear instructions on like where to put the eyes, how to do the nostrils. For those not familiar with embroidery, which I haven't embroidered in about 20 years. So my knowledge is definitely limited, and it explained exactly what kind of stitch it wanted you to do. Honestly, I shouldn't have been surprised because Red Heart knows what they're doing. So now that this is done, let's do a little bit of comparison, although I think we know in the end which one I'm going to choose. And there we have everything in order. So quick reminder before we do some rating, here's the cute little dinosaur from Dollar Tree that is very special, but, you know, adorable nonetheless. We have the Highland Cow, which was from Amazon. We have the Bumblebee that is from Hobby Lobby. We have the chenille cat that is from Michaels. And then we have the little dinosaur that I picked up at Walmart, but it is from Red Heart. All right, so order of doing things. All right, so I thought it would be great to do a little bit of judging based on different aspects of the kit. So first is yarn quality. Whew, this is a hard one. Definitely down there. I feel like these two are kind of tied. Honestly, these are kind of tied for third, if I'm honest. Well, I don't know. So this is for sure the worst. This was not that great quality. This was okay, but it was really hard to work with. We know how I'm feeling about the chenille yarn. It was terrible. This one did a lot of splitting. However, it was easier to work with than several of them. So I don't know if there's really a clear winner in this case. There's definitely room for improvement. Next up, let's judge accessories in the kit. So I'm talking like yarn needle, polyfill, hook, those kind of things. So definitely down here, this didn't have a lot of great stuff. He's still the top winner on this, and I might tie these for third. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing really great at this, right? So actually, you know what? We're going to change it. We're going to like this. Dollar Tree won out because I could actually use the hook from the Dollar Tree And although the hook from Michael's was plastic, it was a very usable plastic versus just something that was so flimsy. Definitely these two with the ergonomic hooks was 10 out of 10. So yeah, I think we're gonna keep that. For instructions, let's see. I think we're gonna go this round like that. He had multiple options. You know what? In that case, I'm changing that. This had a video option, and so did this. However, this didn't. I had a couple diagrams. This was so basic. And again, Red Heart had a lot of things to choose from. I feel like this is helpful, but also not super helpful because I have a clear winner, and it wasn't that hard to choose. And I'm so glad I had him for last. And even if I'd had him first, like he still would have been number one. The detail in everything was amazing. I kind of want to buy another one from Red Heart just to see if it's also kind of the same. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't purchase any of these? No. There are different values for every different kind of thing. If you're looking for something soft, if you're looking for like a lovey, if you want something that's really more like a ball, this is great. If you're looking for an easy little craft, this guy is fine. They're all there for your different purposes. However, out of all of them, I would really only repurchase him. Given the option, I would only buy him. Honestly, the rest, eh. So I hope you had some fun exploring these amigurumi kits with me. Again, I've said it several times, I am not a real seasoned amigurumi pro. In the end, I would definitely just buy a pattern or find a pattern and buy my own yarn versus using one of these kits, unless it's little Tiny the T-Rex, which is his actual name. I am very pleased with Tiny the T-Rex, and he's going to sit at my desk and just become my cute little mascot because I love him. I think he's adorable, and we're going to be friends. So let me know in the comments below, have you tried amigurumi kits? Do you have a favorite? Which of these would you like to try? Did that Dollar Tree really make you sad with how awful I sewed it together? And you're like, no, this dinosaur can be better. So now you're determined to bring me wrong? Absolutely okay. And I wouldn't blame you in the least. So thanks for joining me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.